another Killer Planes video.
Down and Dirty. Tips and tricks for keeping your plane out of the shop. Starring Steve's Dirty Hands. Today, how to armor your nose. Well, your plane's nose.
Steve's hands. Steve's filthy hands. This is actually not dirt, it's glue. So we're going to talk today about putting plastic on the front ends of your planes. There's lots of places you can put plastic. One's on the inside of cowls, one's on the outside of what goes inside a cowl. And if you do both, and then if you really get out of hand and you do the inside of this front ring right here, you will have ended up with, if you include your rods in this equation, a pretty indestructible cowl. And the total amount of stuff that goes into this is, I don't know, a couple of dollars worth of stuff and a half hour of time. So let's get to this one. You can see that these are the same things. This on the inside, this on the outside. This one's easier to see what I'm talking about. Same thing happens in here. When you lay a straight piece of foam, this is just a strip that's cut out of a round bleach bottle kind of a piece, right? Cut out a strip off the bottom of it, and we lay it right onto this foam on the front. This foam is tapered. So because this is tapered, this is going to assume this position when you lay it on. It's like this on both sides. It points to the back because it's laying on the taper here at the bottom. So you want to trim this plastic so that it's plastic all the way up to the front end. So what we do is we just make a mark on the plastic that's equal to the biggest distance that there is now. So that's this. So we just go around the nose. I have my fingers up against the front here. So now I cut this pencil line. Cut the line. You'll see this kind of a smile shape here because it's a happy piece of plastic. Now you notice that I'm putting this piece of plastic across this front notch because, well, that's the weakest point. Let's strengthen it up. It's going to conform to the taper here and end up at the front edge. We're going to move it back about quarter inch, half inch. A little more airflow on the bottom here. So we want to put a tooth on the inside of this so that it will hold the glue better. This is rough sandpaper. So I make it so the inside looks like it's scuffed up. The line that I cut is the front. That wobbly looking line now. Alright, we determine which is the center. That would be about there. Let's put a little bit of tape in the middle. That's about there. So that wants to go in the middle of the notch. So we're going to put some hot glue on here. And I'm going to do one side at a time. Right? And pull it down tight. Alright, we want this solidly glued down onto the foam. And now move to the other side. I use a paper towel to keep my hand away from the white hot glue. If you do get this super hot glue on your skin, it'll glue its super hot self to you and burn the hell out of you while you're trying to get it off. I can continue to squish this down and make sure I have a nice tight bond. We have our rods that all come out to the front end right here. Front end's encased in plastic now. And as far as these kind of impacts go, this is a tad stronger than it was before. There we are. One. So those are sanded down, nice wedge shape, so we can lay this other piece right over the top and keep it nice and thin so that it doesn't take up a whole lot of room on the inside of the cowl here. Now we have to cut this piece. This one's going to stick over the top here, right? When we line up the sides, it's going to extend over the top, so we have to cut a little smile shape out of the top of that. Alright, so now it comes out nicey nice. We'll take our hot glue and I will apply it to the inside of the piece. And then put it on. Squish that stuff down. And if you don't have huge hands like this, you could put on some baseball mitts or oven mitts. Alright, I'm going to sand this down a little bit so it's nice and tight.
See Part 2. how to reinforce the inside of your nose. Cowl.
Or grow some huge deformed hands that are like this. You can just squish it down with your deformed palms.